the player's number of lives displayed, and I was having trouble with it, so maybe this will help. At the title screen, I made a global variable called player lives, and over here you can see player lives. Then I have it, when the game starts, it sets the player lives to 3. So you want to make sure this is before you put any button press for like starting the game. I had it afterwards, and if you do that, it won't update the frame for the player lives. So it's going to go to this screen, and over here I set an actor, and this actor has 0, 1, 2, and 3. And I only had 1, 2, and 3, but if you don't have 0, on Discord, Aisha pointed out that since your frames are 0, 1, 2, it was more scripting, so I added a 0, which I lose a frame, but I think it's going to help overall. So now, when this level starts, up at the top I have lives count, and what it does is it has this actor, lives count, and it sets it to the same value that the player lives are. So when I go here and I hit start, it's going to load this player lives before I have to press start. So I don't see anything, obviously, but I'm going to press start button, and then when I get here, see how it was 0 there? It's updating it to 3. I want to point out that this is called lives count, but I actually used the event actor set animation frame. So when you click, it's in gray and it's smaller now, so it's harder to see. But you know, it might just look like that, but it really is setting the animation frame for this actor to the global value of player lives. Okay, here we go. So the next step I found is I got it to show a 3, right? But when you fall in this orange pit down here, you want it to change to 2. So what happened is I would fall in the pit and nothing would happen. It wouldn't change the number. But what I found is if I go to this and I add on update, so I guess it'll start out showing whatever the value is, but when you fall in the pit, the player lives actor itself, you have to add on update to recheck and set the player live, the variable actor set animation frame for the player lives to that. So now when I go here and I jump in the pit, it changes it to 2 lives. I fall in it again, changes to 1 life, and then here changes it to 0 lives. So that's pretty cool. Okay, in addition to the pit taking a life, okay, we also went here and on player hit we did decrement player values by 1. So in addition to falling in this pit, when you hit the enemy, it should take a life as well. So let's see. So this is on player hit group 1, which I'm learning that means the player hit thing is the player themselves getting hit, and the other one on the enemy is when the player hits them. So when I hit this guy, you see it set my life down to 1, and then I'm going to fall in the pit, and it's going to take a life too. So I've got it working both ways, that it takes lives in both. Okay, so in this game, these are the contents of like a cornerstone, and you see that I've got 3 on my life. Well, the only way these like contain life power, so when you fall into a pit or you get hit by an enemy, you end up with 2 lives now, right? Okay, so I've made my way back to the cornerstone contents. So when I pick this up, it's gonna run the script. I picked up a piece of the relic, and it switched it from 2 lives back to 3. Now when I fall in the pit, it's gonna set back to 2. So that's a way to like help people get lives throughout the game, but if it won't go above 3. Okay, so I'm here and I've got 3 lives already. If you look in the top left, when I get this, it's gonna be there and it stays at 3, and I'll show you how I did that. So in this relic, I made a sequence of what happens when someone finds one and picks one up, and I made a variable in it, and that variable is set to player lives. So when I go to edit custom event, there's a variable that says if compare with value, which is variable A. Variable A is set to player lives, and it's set to take variable A and increment it by 1. But it only increments it by 1 if variable A is less than 3. So you have to do compare first. If it's less than 3, it takes it up to 3. And I think that'll be a good way to help people get through the game, because each level has 3 of these. So you could die, and if they disappear, you can't get them again, so you can't keep getting lives, but they can get through the level. And I think what I'll do is I'm going to change variable A to player lives, so that I know when I'm looking at it, it's easier to see. And then actor A, I'm going to change it to lives display. Oh no, to relic. So hide actor relic. So when I go here, player lives is the variable I needed to pick, and I go to my global variable list, and I picked, it might not show up because I already picked it, so player lives, and it's set to the relic. So that's how I got it to increase the lives but not go beyond the maximum life count of 3.